Hi Umbraco family, it's me Warren. It's been a while, but now it's time to take a look at something entirely new. You may have heard of it. It's GitHub Copilot, so it's a tech preview from GitHub. But yeah, let's jump on in and let's explore this together to see if this beats up to the hype or not. Okay, so this is the GitHub Copilot website that tells us kind of what this is. And from my understanding, it's kind of a machine learning model over all the GitHub code repositories that are publicly available. So it allows them to do some kind of guessing, from what I understand, in terms of context and knowing what we would like to do. So we can just replay some of these. So I think you can write a comment here, determine whether the sentiment of text is positive using a web service, and write is positive, and then it will stub out the rest of the method. Interesting. And that's in a TypeScript file. And then there's something similar in a Go file. And a Python file. Right, with that being said, that's kind of obviously looks like what it does under the hood. It's saying it's more than autocomplete. Understands significantly more context about the code. So whether it's in a docstring, comment, function name, or the code itself, GitHub uses the context you provided and synthesizes some code to match. Together with OpenAI, we're designing GitHub Copilot to get smarter at producing safe and effective code as developers use it. Okay, it looks like there's some examples that we can try as well. But first of all, I signed up and I've got a notice to say that I've been accepted. I'm in. So it says you're already enabled. So what we've got to do, install GitHub Copilot on Visual Studio Code. Okay, let's click that. And we can install this. I suppose just click install. Visual Studio Code is required to install this extension. Yeah, that's fine. I'm going to click OK and open my Visual Studio Code. Okay, so it's taken me to extensions, but I suppose I could have just done a search for it. GitHub Copilot. Is there anything in here that we need to know? Sign up for the waitlist. No, we're in. Okay, so we'll just click install. Okay. Usage. To get started with the GitHub Copilot, visit the Getting Started guide, visit the preview repo for more resources. This guide and repo is only available to users in the tech preview. So let's take a look. Installing the Visual Studio Code extension. You'll be prompted to authorize the extension by signing into GitHub. I think my Visual Studio Code is already signed into some other GitHub related extensions, as far as I know. Hence, I don't think that's why it's not asked me to authenticate yet. So let's read down. If you receive the following message, you've not been added to the Copilot Tech Preview. Seeing your first suggestion, create a new JavaScript file. We can do that. I can do that. Is it? Double click here. Select language, add JavaScript, and okay, let's put this side by side so we can see what we're doing. And get rid of the sidebar menu in Visual Studio Code. Type the following function header. Function calculate days between days, and we're going to give it a begin and an end. And okay, there we go. Looks like we get the exact same. Press tab to accept the suggestion. GitHub Copilot will attempt to match your code's context and style. You can edit the suggested code as you choose. Choosing an alternative suggestion for any given input, GitHub can provide multiple suggestions. On Windows or Linux, Alt and squared brackets. So there we go, that's a different suggestion. So that's dealing with in terms of the maths, but that's, look, it's just a different order. That's not particularly that interesting of a suggestion. Is that the only 2 suggestions we get? Okay. Oh, something happened. There we go. Next. Oh. Previous, accept, open Copilot. Synthesizing 10 solutions. Let's make this a little bit bigger now. Okay. So chunking it up as slightly different. Put in what one day would be, and using math.floor as opposed to math.round. So there is a few different suggestions here. Okay, well, so that's what. How do I get it to work again? Oh, there we go. We'll tab and we'll accept that. Okay. Getting more suggestions. Clear the file or start a new one, and type the following again. I'm just going to be. Oh, look, there's even a button to copy it. Yep. Press Control and Enter. I think that's. Okay, so this was what me just fiddling around had done. Pick one you like and accept the suggestion to continue. Well, there we go. We'll have this very verbose. We'll have this very verbose one. I don't know why, but yeah, cool. Let's just make sure it gets the full year, gets the month, gets the date. It's ooh, my package is here. Thank you, Posty. Assuming the wife will get that. Right. So we've done that. Okay. GitHub Copilot can understand significantly more context than code assistance. Create a new JavaScript file and type the following. Again, we'll copy and paste. Find all images without alternative text and give them a red border. Oh, okay. So it seems like it takes a moment or two to go and talk out to the server and then come back with the responses. So I can see that it's going to try and find all image tags as HTML image tags. It's going to loop over those. Then, for any that has an alt tag that is an empty string, then we're going to set that specific image to have some 1 pixel solid red border added. Very nice. And then it's just ever so slightly syntax sugar in terms of writing the same thing, but yeah, cool that it can from a comment figure out kind of what I wanted to do or what needed to be done. So let's carry on going down this document. GitHub Copilot is especially useful for working with APIs and frameworks. Here we use GitHub Copilot to create a simple Express server that returns the current time. Create a new JavaScript file and type the following. So Express server on port 3000. Do I need to space? Oh, there we go. So and press enter dot. Enter full stop. Oh. Enter. Surely, I would imagine it would have been more than just. Okay, so now we're getting some more. Wow, getting some ones with lots of comments in. It's obviously still learning as it's going. Enter. Okay. Well, if I press tab, that's just a one-liner. That's not obviously what I wanted. So what is it? Control enter. And again, well, so I wanna take this first one. Seems okay. We generate lines of code to create the express app. Press tab and enter to press tab and enter to accept each line. Okay, so it did want me to tab, enter, tab, enter, tab, enter, tab, enter, tab, enter. Is that it? We're done? I don't know much about oh, there we go. Any more that it wants to generate for me? Okay, it looks like I could be going there for a while. To accept each line. Type the following comment and press enter. Again, I don't know enough about Node.js Express servers, so I don't know if that's enough of an example, but we'll paste in return the current time. How's this going to figure this out for me? Do I have to hit space? There we go. So app.get, and then it's going to take a URL. If you go to the /URL time, then it's going to just return the result of the current date. Okay. Nice. So there's a lot more than GitHub Copilot can do. Check out the examples on copilot.github or to see more, or the gallery in the repository for the latest examples from us and the community. Got an example of your own, we welcome to share it on the discussions. And then there's some configuration. Okay, so that was a very loose intro. I am now very curious to see how well does it know, or context of Umbraco. So we've got Umbraco v9 here, so the NETCore edition. I've got the source code repository open, and this was from yesterday's. I was testing some PR, but I've just got an empty file. Let's delete it. Let's create let's create a surface controller, because that's all I can think of off the top of my head. So let's do using, oh no, let's leave the using, let's do namespace. Oh, it's giving me some completion. I don't know if this is now, so that is Copilot and not C# Roslyn, or what is this called? I can never remember. OmniSharp. That's giving me the suggestion this is now Copilot. That's probably a better. No, yeah, we'll just leave it like that. I don't know. So it thinks it wants to have some usings. I prefer usings to be outside of namespaces, but for now, let's do a public class. So here we go. It's going to recommend me creating a surface controller. So let's look at what it's synthesized. Oh, there's quite a few examples there. Let's have a look. So it's going to a surface controller that inherits surface controller base. Okay, so there's surface controller base. This is the default route for the surface control. This route will be hit if the user has not provided a custom route. Okay, so this is probably not surface controller base we want to inherit from, but it looks like it's getting some of our either from our own repository in the context of the local, or from GitHub itself and other repositories. So what do we call this? Surface controller, and I don't want to inherit surface controller base. I think it's just surface controller. No, that's not right, is it? Eyes. Now I have to look at our own docs. Umbraco surface controller. Blah. Okay, we'll give it the fully typed. Can we get some? Or enter? No. So we've got some light bulbs. So this is now Roslyn and OmniSharp. Stone constructor. Can we get any? So public surface controller, render model, so this, I was just going to try and write a comment and get I think some of them was like, what was it about the intent, wasn't it? So we could try what was it about determine whether sentiment of text is positive using a web service. Okay, let's try and just copy that comment and see what happens. Like another comment about potentially so at the minute this is not a super smooth experience, and it is a technical preview. There we go, we've got some lots of comments in that one. To do, implement, thanks. But it knows in the context of this surface controller that it needs to be an action result that is the return type. And obviously that was just going to return an empty string. That is looking at some. Oh look, there's one down here with that sentiment.com. So we'll try and take this one. Doesn't fully stub it out, but we can we just carry on tabbing to success? So far so good. It's getting stuff out of the configuration manager, but the configuration manager, and where did it say? I'm sure it said web config somewhere in some of the comments. The web service needs to be configured in the web config. And obviously we're in NETCore. Web config really isn't a thing anymore, so it doesn't know the context between .NET Framework application and .NET Core application, so it seems. Still, I'm mildly impressed. This is clever, but in terms of if I'd use it every day, probably not. But yeah, I've just tapped my way through and got something that would at least help me in terms of making a request out to this API. In this case, it's sentiment.com. Never heard of it until now. Obviously, that's something that I could look into. And then obviously I need to provide a username, a password, looks like a version and a language, and some other parameters that we need to send as a GET request. And then it's obviously done. Are we now going to view does not currently exist? Yeah, we can add news-ins. And we don't have this class. Generate. Well, but we don't know what it's going to return. But maybe this is going to stuff this out for us as well. A label. I don't know the return type of this response, but that kind of looks like almost what we're putting in. So a language and response type and a version, but the score, label, and text. We've got responses JSON. Okay, there's lots of context here, and this now just obviously seems to be sentiment. Yeah, we're going around again. So we can get rid of all of those. Okay, well, I think for now I'm going to leave it there. So that was just a loose tech demo in terms of what's shiny and new from GitHub and Microsoft, obviously. Yeah, it'd be interesting to watch this space as it evolves. Maybe it might get smarter. But for now, I'm kind of on the fence. I don't think I'm ever going to lose my job to this AI and machine learning just yet. So watch this space. Thanks for watching. Any questions or anything you want me to try out, either with the Umbraco codebase or any other kind of bits of code or code snippets, let me know in the comments, and I'll either reply and post some GIFs or something. I don't know. We'll figure it out. Anyway, have a good one, Umbraco family. Catch you later. Bye.